Hi, my name is Alejandro, I'm from Mexico City, and this time I'm going to explain the project checklist. Well, first of all, you must turn on your DAW, obviously. So in my case it's Pro Tools 10. It's running in Windows 7, and let's wait. Well, this kind of checklist are some steps so you can get a nice recording project or mixing project or any kind of post-production project. So we're waiting to Pro Tools to open a new file here. The first one in this DAW is the digital audio preferences. Here we gonna be able to manipulate some specs like sample rate, that is basically the amount of samples per second the DAW is gonna take of the sound recording, and the bit depth, that basically is how deep is going to take samples. Here we see the preference window in Pro Tools 10. We're gonna click in session parameters, and we can see in the video the specific place of the changes that you can do in the sample rate. We're gonna take 48, and in the bit depth 24 bits. The 32 bits float is used more for mixing or some things like that. Well, the second is the recording file type. In class, we see that there are two different kinds, the compressed and the uncompressed. The compressed are files like MP3 or AAC or MP4, that are kind of files that loses some information, some harmonics or something like that in the sound waves. The uncompressed are files that record exactly what you're playing, like wave, the broadcast wave, and the AIFF. The broadcast wave can manage more metadata and is the preferred of the class. We are gonna select the broadcast wave. And here we go. Okay, the second stuff in our checklist is the proper project name and location. It's very important to save our files in a specific location. I have here a special folder called sesiones, that in English is sessions, where I have all my recording projects and my mixing project. Here I choose the name of the project I called course assignment, and I know that all my information is in this folder and in my hard disk and my hard drive, or I don't know, a USB or a DVD, I don't know. Here we have created a new project where we know everything about it, where is located data, our specifications, the sample rate, the bit depth, and etc. Now we're gonna check some features right here. That is the hardware settings. The hardware settings is how your interface or your analog to digital converter is going to work. Here I have an Avid M-Box, the normal M-Box. So we have a toner for a guitar or a bass guitar, the setup, and a flow chart where we can see how the signal flow is, the specifications of the interface, and some little effects here that you can send for monitoring or stuff like that. Basically, they are reverbs. We have a delay and an echo too. Well, this is where you change your hardware preferences. Now the buffer size. The buffer size is an amount of samples that are ready to go to your digital to analog converter. In simple words, a small amount of samples is best for recording, and a big amount of samples is best for processing audio. Here we have some other parameters in the hardware. The number of host processors, the buffer size we have now 1024. We will change it to 128 to record some stuff, and the CPU usage that my PC is going to use. So we can make now a new track. We take a mono track, we name it properly. I will put the name of guitar. I'm gonna record a little guitar. Now we hit record in the channel and in the transport, and I'm gonna create a click track to guide myself into the recording. Start recording my track here. Let's be patient. I'm gonna start monitoring my track, my new track of my guitar, and now I'm gonna change my buffer size to a bigger amount of samples, so I can take some effects in my track. I'm gonna change here to 1024. Just for processing my audio to have more power and less delay. We're going to be now in our mix window. So here we are. We're gonna take a channel strip to get a little EQ and maybe some propagation effect. In a really short check, the first is the proper project name and location. This is the first thing you're gonna check. The second is the digital audio preferences. Remember our bit depth and sample rate. The third is the recording type file. I suggest broadcast wave. And the fourth is hardware settings, the amount of processors and some etc. of your interface. And at last, the buffer size. Remember, a little amount of buffer size is better for monitoring and recording, and bigger amount of a buffer size is perfect to process some sound. This is the result of the sound, and well, this is my second assignment in this course. I want to give a special thanks to Berklee College of Music for teaching the course, as always, and I hope you've learned a little bit of what I am learning.